Let's get into the observations that just took place at Lions training camp, and we got the big boys fighting, Aidan Hutchinson and Penei Sewell. That will be a big topic of this discussion. But before we get into today's video, if you think it's a smart idea to go outside during a tornado and stay in a building when there's a fire, go ahead and subscribe to my channel because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. Sometimes being a Lions fan, you could do the opposite of what you should be doing. Also, take that like button with you, let that bad boy get burned up and sent up into the clouds. Let's get into today's Lions training camp. Always start with the injury update. Right now, we can talk about Julian, Okwara, and Levi Onwuzurike. Dan Campbell said both of them, I would say, is not serious. Yet, it's enough where I can't tell you it's going to be a week or 2 weeks, Campbell said, but it's not serious long-term issue for either one of those guys. No, I don't feel that way, Campbell said. Not right now. I don't. I would have to do something crazy if that would happen. So, Levi Onwuzurike should be good to go for week 1 of the regular season, according to Dan Campbell, if everything was to happen right now. Same with Julian Okwara, being a little bit cautious. I think it's more worrisome with Levi because of last year and continuing this year with the lack of being in training camp and taking those reps. That's concerning. We'll see what happens going forward. He talked about Jerry Jacobs, how he's ahead of schedule. Jerry Jacobs of wanting to get on the field, and they have to keep pulling him back. I love it. That's what I like hearing, because Jerry Jacobs is exactly what you think he is. He's a dog, and he wants to get on the field and rip things up. Guys, are you excited for Hard Knocks tonight? Tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions, Episode 1. Let me know in the comment section if you are really, really excited for this show. So I am. Now, I really didn't talk about the Lions quarterbacks in today's training camp. It's more about the big boys, so we'll get in that to a minute. But yesterday's training camp, Josh Reynolds, and you had DJ Chark and Amon-Ra St. Kalif Raymond continue to rip up the defense, and Jared Goff is doing just that, giving the football to these guys, and it's either really good on offense or not so good in the defensive backs. But I tell you what, it's been happening now every single training camp where the Lions offense is steamrolling the defense in the secondary, and I do believe it has a lot to do with the fact that the Lions have really good wide receivers, no doubt about it. And Jared Goff is really locked in this year. He's more confident, more comfortable spreading the football to his guys. Also, when it comes to David Blough and Tim Boyle, they had an up and down again. So it's really, for those guys, folks, we all know this. It's going to have to go ahead and go down to it's really going to have to come down to the preseason games with these guys, and I think that's even what Dan Campbell is saying today in a press conference. It's going to have to go down to them. Now, this title says Lions wide receivers, but we're not going to really talk about that because we're going to talk about Aidan Hutchinson versus Penei Sewell. They were locking arms and going at it today in training camp, and Penei Sewell got the better of Aidan Hutchinson. He beat him more times, but Aidan did win as well. So I love it. You're literally getting knife, sharpie knife. You're having two monsters colliding and getting each other better. And you don't want to see where one is just dominating the other. This is exactly what you want to see. One's getting better. Then the next day they get better. So Penei Sewell, I say, won the day overall. But in all honesty, folks, Aidan Hutchinson is an absolute beast. And when Aidan was going against the backups, it was knife, meat, butter. So Aidan Hutchinson was killing the backups. It wasn't even close. It's not fair at all. Aidan Hutchinson is wreaking havoc. And I tell you what, he's an absolute beast. And you don't want to be putting no tight ends trying to block their Aidan Hutchinson, because that's not well at all. Because he smoked Brock Wright, tight end. He got outside and beat Garrett Griffin, the tight end. It's not fair. He also beat Matt Nelson, backup offensive lineman. This is what you expect, though, for the number 2 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. How about John Kaminsky, a guy who we picked up off waivers? He had a day today and was killing it, and he announced his authority. Look, he was going between second and third string defenses, moving in and out of the formations, defensive line variations that was going on. Kaminsky won a lot of the reps. He beat Evan Brown, who you know how I really like, really good backup center for the Detroit Lions. He was smoking him. Tommy Kramer, he beat him. I don't know if that's really a big thing, but Tommy Kramer is battling for that backup role in the offensive line, and he smoked Logan Stenberg. Kaminsky looked great. Now, we talked about him being a waiver pickup, and we didn't know, is this really, is this a big deal? Other teams wanted him as well, but it's looking like Kaminsky is being a boss, and that's very good because we need a player like him to make his presence known. I love seeing the edge right there, get the victory, and get the win, because we're looking for players, a diamond in the rough, that can help out the defensive line. It's not just one or a couple players. You need multiple players to do that. Kaminsky stepping up, and I freaking love it. Matt Nelson, backup offensive lineman, the backup tackle. He was getting smoked today. He was getting caught high in his stance. He was getting beat left and right. We kind of expect that. Matt Nelson, to me, is more that blocking tackle, the guy that we're using for the running game. You throw him an extra there. And Austin Bryant clearly got beat, though, by 1 rep by Matt Nelson, and that's kind of that's good. It's good because Austin Bryant's had a really good camp, so you do want to see the backup tackle win some sort of battle. So it looked like that happened there. That is good. Folks, hit that like button. Why? Because why the hell not? Smash that like button like you would smack Bob Quinn's face for hurting our football team. All you got to do is hit it, click it. It's free to do so. It helps the channel out, and that's what it's all about. Let's continue on. We can go ahead and continue on where it says Lions wide receivers, but it's really not. And Dan Skipper barely made a dent, even though he's a big guy. Didn't do really anything. Paulo, one-word stance today. Powerful. He's absolutely got Stonewall, Bruce Hector, and Austin Bryant. It's good to see. Obviously, Evan Brown is clearly the number 1 interior offensive lineman. He had a lot of wins here, except for the one we talked about earlier. He lost. Tommy Kramer, he had reps with the one-on-one, losing to Kaminsky, as we talked earlier, and Isaiah Buggs. But he got in front of the stretch, and he did well playing guard. He sealed the linebacker and Justin Jackson, our newly acquired running back. McCullen, guard and center, bounced between second and third string. Buggs roasted him on one-on-one drills. Logan Stenberg, no sugar. He was not doing good today. Stenberg is looking like a broken iceberg right now. He didn't have a good day, and it's not looking good for his chance to make the roster. Let's talk about the running backs. Craig Reynolds had himself a hell of a practice. Craig Reynolds is doing exactly what we want. He was getting rocked, and he still kept getting those yards. He would get hit, he still kept getting those yards. Even Kaminsky had a good head on him, but he kept going. He absolutely is good hitting the gaps between the left tackle and tight end. He got in there and destroyed it. He took out and trucked through Anthony Pittman, the linebacker, smoked him for an easy run. He took on Sean Dean Hamilton and destroyed him there in an 8-yard run. This guy is just, he continues to be a baller for the Detroit Lions in the running game, and he's absolutely going to be the Lions' number 2 running back. Have you guys seen the Jamal Williams hype video where he's going crazy and, he was getting really emotional in practice? You got to check that out, by the way. I've seen that part of there. How about Maurice Alexander, the new, I guess what do you want to say, wide receiver, running back, whatever you want to talk about. But he's opening eyes with his speed and his return ability. And he continues to be the number 2 in both punt and kick return. So we got to keep an eye on him in preseason on Friday to see potentially could he be the guy for the Lions as a kick return battle. He also had a good pass from Tim Boyle, snatching the ball, and I guess that's good for Tim Boyle, but for him as well, for any sort of snatching is good because he's trying to make this roster. Riley Patterson was perfect on field goal attempts, and while Austin Siebert missed 2 of his 4, both wide right. So, yesterday we talked about Siebert was winning the battle. Well, today, Patterson won the battle there. So this battle continues on. Derek Barnes had a very bad day for the linebacker position. He was looking rough, folks, and not good. And it's the defense regarding the linebacker position is rough right now. It is. It's a lot of players that are not doing a whole lot of good. And hey, man, I know Roquan Smith, dog, he's part of the Chicago Bears, and the odds of trading for him seems to be extremely unlikely. But at least make a phone call. There ain't nothing wrong with making a phone call, even though you're going to get shut down for sure. But we need to see what's going on with these linebackers. Not a lot from Alex Anzalone or Malcolm Rodriguez. And the only thing that I've heard from Jared Davis is nothing good, and that's throughout the week. It wasn't just today. It's just him not being good. So the defense, we keep getting like mixed reviews on this defense. We keep not really having the full understanding what's taken on with this deep, what's going on here, because it's either the Lions defense is getting smoked by the Lions offense or not a lot. So we're just going to have to wait till preseason, I think, for some of this, folks. You need to follow me on these social media sites: Twitter, Facebook, LNU, Instagram. Why? Because that's where you get some content that I'm dropping there. With that said, folks, adios.